Hey, welcome to Bikes, Boats, and Bivouacs. We're in the Bikes, Boats, and Bivouacs Global Studios just outside of Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. And we're here today to talk about a trip. And we're going to title this series, The Captain and Colonel's Excellent Adventure. Mm-hmm. And the reason it's called The Captain and Colonel's Excellent Adventure, well, first of all, why are you called the Colonel?
Well, I'm a retired Marine Corps Reserve Colonel.
And I'm a licensed boat captain. So that's how we came up with The Captain and Colonel. Really clever.
Yeah, right.
And it's an excellent adventure. And where are we going to head on this adventure?
Eventually to Key West, Florida.
So we're going to leave good old Pennsylvania in the northeast section of the United States, and we are going to travel all the way to Key West. And then on the way back, we have a special stop that we'll talk about. But first, what are we staying in? Now, normally, when we go to Key West, we stay on a base.
Stay on the base.
So we're either at Trumbo or Sigsbee or Truman Annex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But not this time.
Nope.
And what are we going to be staying in?
Well, we're going down in your camper this time.
Yeah, we're gonna drag the Jayco Jayflight SLX 224 BH. All the way down to Key West. Now, we're not doing that in one day.
Of course not.
It's going to take us a couple days. We wanted to give you an idea of what this trip is going to be like, where we're going to stop, what we're going to do, so you'll be able to follow along and anticipate the adventures that we're going to be on. So our first stop, where's that going to be?
Statesville, North Carolina.
So in Statesville, North Carolina, we stayed there before in a motel on our way to the Sheraton Vistana. We stayed in Statesville, North Carolina. So that was a good test on, can we handle a 500-mile, roughly 8-hour drive. And we did that with relative ease, and there happens to be a KOA campground in Statesville, very near where we stayed. So we know that, that's going to be an easy stop. And we're just staying there overnight, but we will give you a video of that campground while we're there, just in case anybody else is going to make this trip.
Of course, you were born in North Carolina.
Camp Lejeune.
Yeah.
When you were in there flying helicopters.
Yep.
So when we leave North Carolina, Colonel, where are we headed?
Well, we're headed down to Florida. We're going to stay in DeLand. It'll be the day before we actually get down into the Keys.
So we leave North Carolina, we drive another 500 miles or so, and we stop at the St. John's Marina and Resort in DeLand. It's right on the St. John's River, has a really nice restaurant that overlooks the river. They have 130 or 140 campsites, and then they have a marina with a bunch of boats in there. And they have water tours and rentals and all that kind of stuff there. So really a neat little place to stop. When I booked this, it was a KOA.
It's not anymore?
It's not a KOA anymore. They went independent, but I kept the reservation because I wanna eat that fish sandwich looking out over the water.
Okay.
So we'll do that. So that'll be a nice drive. It's just a little bit off of 95, just west of Daytona. And then we'll cut down 27 probably on the drive all the way to the Keys rather than 95. Haven't decided yet, but not a big fan of running 95 if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. But we're there just for one night. We'll give you a video tour of that particular location. And really, I could spend additional time there. There's a lot of good fishing and stuff right there. And then our third stop, where are we going to stay in the Keys?
We're going to stay on Sugarloaf Key, the southernmost KOA.
And this KOA was decimated by Irma.
Oh, yeah. The aerial pictures, it looked like a desert when Irma got done with it.
But it took them a little over 2.5 years to rebuild that KOA, and it's beautiful. And I believe our spot backs right up to the water. They have a lot to do there. It's considered one of their resort properties. And what's the main reason we're heading down there?
Well, there's an event, a 4-day event in the Florida Keys known as Meet Me in the Keys. It's sponsored by the fan club of a tropical rock star friend of ours, Howard Livingston.
And the Mile Marker 24 band.
And the Mile Marker 24 band, yes.
So the Southernmost Coconut Castaways is the friend club that Pop is talking about. And they have this music festival every year involving trop rock. And then the highlight is Howie and his band will play the last show, the big show.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of other shows, though.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of the trop rock players that we listen to have events at this particular
miniature golf tournament
event. Yeah. So it's really cool, and we'll bring you a lot of that as we do that. But there's a pool event where there's music by the pool. There's the miniature golf tournament. There is the main show and some dinners and a lot of fun, and a lot of the folks that we know that we would see them every year in the wintertime when we're down there. This happens to be in June. This festival is always in June. But for this year, all the events are right around Sugarloaf Key. So we're about 15 miles outside of Key West, 18 miles outside of Key West. But all the venues are there. None of the venues for this particular year are in Key West. So we'll be spending a lot of time there. There's a couple restaurants we love there that we'll check out. And we might rent a pontoon boat and go out fishing for half a day.
Yeah, I'm taking rods along.
So the one nice thing about dragging that camper with, well, there's two nice things. We can take with whatever we want, and the bathroom's always with us.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy.
At my age, yeah.
So we can pull over at any time. So that makes traveling a little more convenient. After we arrive at Key West, the schedule's pretty tight. But if we get a chance and we want to run into Key West, what are the two things we need to do in Key West?
Well, we've got to visit 410 Caroline Street. That's got a whole lot of historic significance into the Keys.
So that property was called the Heritage House, and it was owned by the Porter family. And we are amazed at the influence that one house has on the world. So we're interested in checking that out and getting some video of that particular property. And then what bar are we going to visit if we're down there?
Well, one of our most favorites is Schooner Wharf on the waterfront in Old Town Key West.
So that bar, we've been going to that bar every year. They have live music most of the time, and it's just good bar food and just a great Key West atmosphere. So we'll head there, and you never know, if we have time, maybe we'll stop at Geiger Key.
Yeah,
that's another
one we really. But that one you got to find.
Yeah,
that's not right on the main street anywhere.
You have to look around mile marker 10.5 to make the turn back to Geiger Key. But we're not sure how much time we're going to have, but there's the potential for us to go visit those two properties. And then so, as the Colonel indicated, we're down there for maybe 4 days of events, and then when we leave, well, we forgot one thing. Who's going to come down there and visit us when we're at the show?
Well, two of your brothers. The youngest, Keith, and the number 3.
Right.
Todd.
The number 3. So, well, yeah, 2, 3, and 4.
That's just birth order. That's not a matter of preference.
We're not sure about that. But anyway, my brother Keith, who lives in Gettysburg, his daughter works at Disney in Orlando. So he is flying into Orlando and is actually going to meet up with us in DeLand at the St. John RV Park.
Yes.
And then my brother Todd is going to fly into Key West, and we're going to just pick him up at the airport and bring him over. So we'll have the 4 of us in the camper for 2 nights, and then Todd leaves the day we leave the Keys. He flies home, and Keith remains with us up to our next destination, which is where?
We're going to stay at the Fort Wilderness in the Disney complex in Orlando area.
So Fort Wilderness Campground is one of the nicest campgrounds in the country, and most RVers feel like that's a mecca they have to visit at least once in their lifetime. And the advantage we have is that my niece and your granddaughter works there.
Yeah.
So
Same person.
Yeah, we have some special access that maybe not everybody has. So when we arrive at Fort Wilderness, we are in the preferred sites, and I believe that's loops 100, 200, and 300. And those loops are some of the older loops that are right near the marina and Pioneer Hall. So you don't have a lot of distance to travel to go to the restaurant or the shows or down to the marina if you want to rent a boat and go fishing. So that's really helpful. And also, we rented a golf cart for while we're there.
Yeah, okay.
You know, one of the things we like to do is a tour of the campground facilities, and this is a large campground. And there's no way we would be able to see most of it without a golf cart. So we can do that. I don't know if we'll show you every loop down there. We might show you features of them, but if we do show you every loop, we'll probably have to run it in 3X. So we'll be flying down the street. But we've booked a couple of things there. What are we going to do on Bay Lake?
Fish.
Disney. We're going to fish. So those of you not familiar with Disney or you're just going into the theme parks, there's a lot to do that don't involve the theme parks. And one of them is fishing on Bay Lake. You can charter a pontoon boat and go out there and fish for largemouth bass. And I've done this in the past, and it's a lot of fun. So we booked that. And then we always, if you've watched some of our other videos, we always love to go out to dinner and try new places. So we locked down 2 places. One of the things with the scheduling today, you have to book places well in advance. So I already have these restaurants booked, so we got a site. So the first one, where are we going to eat dinner the first night we're there?
Trails End, which is at the campground itself. Yeah.
So over where the Hoop-de-Doo Review and Pioneer Hall and all those establishments are in the campground is the Trails End restaurant. And they do this as an all-you-can-eat skillet. And they have the corn on the cob, and very similar to the way the Wilderness Lodge used to be before COVID when they changed their protocols. So I'm looking forward to that one. And if that dinner is great, because the breakfast there I had was great, that might be my new favorite place down there on property. And then the next day we're going out for a nice dinner. Where are we going to go?
The Yachtsman Steakhouse, which is at the Yacht Club.
Yeah, so the Beach and Yacht Club are 2 Disney properties, hotels. They have a lot of restaurants and activities over there. And this restaurant happens to be in the Yacht Club. And the reason I selected this is because although it's called a steakhouse, half their menu has seafood.
Okay.
Including a seafood tower, which is like, I don't know, $140. And it's this massive mountain of food. Crab legs and lobster and fish. I don't know.
I'll have to save up for that.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to do that, but they also have all the things that you like. You know, a lot of the seafood and the Florida fish are on the menu down there. So that should be really nice. And then after we leave Disney, heading home, where are we going to stop?
Fort Mill, South Carolina.
Yep. So this would be about a 500-mile drive, and there. At Fort Mill, we stayed there before on that trip we took in March when we went down the Sheraton Vistana. And they happen to have a KOA campground right there also. So I booked a KOA in Fort Mill. I know that's a drive we can easily make, and access to the campground is easy and close to the highway, so it's easy on and off. I don't even think I'll disconnect for the truck from the camper on that stop, but I'll just plug in the electric and the water and all.
Okay.
And then final day, 6th stop, where we end up?
We end up back here.
At the Global Studios of Bikes, Boats, and Bivouacs. So that is a preview to the Captain and Colonel's Excellent Adventure, which is a trip from Pennsylvania to Key West and back with a stop at Fort Wilderness. We invite you to follow along on this excellent adventure as we head down south to one of our favorite places on the planet.
The Keys.
Yeah. If this video helped you, consider subscribing to the channel. It's free. It helps me out a lot. Also, ring that bell. You'll be notified every time I put up a new video, and give the video a thumbs up. That helps too. But more important than all that,
Go have some fun out there.
Hey, thanks for watching.